Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel and welcome to Fuji for Le Mans Ultimate LMP2 race with beginner daily fixed setup races. So this is my fastest lap from qualifying, which was enough for P7. I had enough time and enough fuel and tires to do another lap, but I made a mistake. Straight into the turn 1 I locked up and went a bit deep. Didn't lose too much time, so I continued, but I spun in final sector. So yeah, this is then the fastest lap that I had in this qualifying. Nothing special. I was around a second off the pace. And since I just don't feel comfortable in anything here in Fuji, many blind corners, and I really can't see, I have to do it from my head, I decided to start the race from the pit lane and drive a safe race to gain as much safety rating as possible. So this was qualifying, and now let's see how the race went.
Formation lap has started.
So here we are, leaving the garage for the pit exit, where we have to line up and wait for the green light. For those that don't know, and I've seen on Reddit that many people are confused about starting from the pit lane, you are not to start when spotter says green light, because that's the signal to start the race. You have to wait for the signal on the exit to turn green, and that's usually after all the cars have passed by the pit exit. So we are now waiting. The guy behind me just let me take my position ahead because I qualified in front of him. And here we go, start of the race. Already some carnage ahead. I also was distracted with this black and yellow car, so I went wide, and my companion who started from the pit lane, he also went wide. Turn 3, and again carnage here. 3 cars turned 90 degrees towards the road, and yeah, and there is also a big crash. So I evaded some of the carnage by starting from the pit lane, and also gained some positions. Here's the replay of the start. I'm not really sure why I included the part from the pit lane, but I thought it completed the image of me getting ready to start the race. As you can hear, cars on the grid have already started accelerating. Here they come, and now we can start. You can hear some crashes ahead. And you can see us both going wide. Cold brakes, cold tires, and distraction in the shape of the car going wrong way. Here is the carnage in turn 3. Looks much less interesting from this angle. Also, this crash looked so much closer to me from this angle than it looked from the onboard camera while I was driving. And yeah, that's the start of the race. Now try to settle in and get to the end without any contacts or invalidated laps. It is now lap 2, coming to the tight chicane in sector 2. Driver ahead goes very wide. I lock brake somewhat, but he crosses just in front of me, and we touch. I lose the position, but I then gain 2 because cars are in the grass on the left. Here you can see the replay of that. Again, camera angle is not the best, but you see I am way inside the lines. He returns to the track, and yeah, that's one of the moves that I don't really appreciate in online racing, when people just return back to the track like no one's there. If you went wide, I think safer option would be for him to take the escape road and navigate through barriers and come after the chicane. But it is what it is. There is damage to my car, and we continue. I don't feel like this is something that should be reported to maybe penalize him, but I also think that this is something people really need to look at and try not to do in racing. Now, I wouldn't say that I am stuck behind these two drivers, but I'm just fast enough to keep the pace with them, and slow enough to not be able to attack. They are in their sweet little fight, but I still can't use that to my advantage. As I said, in GT3 cars, this track is great. Especially in Ferrari or McLaren, I can see a lot through the corners, and here in LMP2 a lot of view, especially in this final sector where we have these blind corners as well as the hairpin in sector 2. I just can't drive. I can't wait for them to add track IR support so that I can look through the corner and better position my car. And then here we come to my another pet peeve in sim racing, and that's when people throw the car in when they are faster, and they throw the car in at places where you just can't overtake, like he did there, and I went wide. This second part where he finally now overtook me, that's fine. I made a mistake, I let brake too late and he goes under me and passes me. That's absolutely fantastic. But as you'll see now in the replay, he had a better exit from chicane, but that 90-degree right-hander there is not a place where you can really overtake. It's really just one line through that corner. It's such a weird corner, and he still throws his car in, and I had to open the wheel because I thought we will crash. So yeah, that's another pet peeve of mine, where people just throw the car in. They know there is no big consequences. So yeah, and that's how I lost another position, and then now I'm under attack again on start-finish straight, but as I did in Monza with LMP2 cars, on the brakes I actually defend my position and keep P11. And then the same driver does it again a lap later on another competitor, and this time I was again the unlucky one because I was at the back. This guy spun and I got hit twice. So yeah, again he throws his car on the inside where you really shouldn't be throwing the car, even though you see you're a faster driver. Wait for this start-finish straight and then overtake. I don't really like this kind of driving, but it is what it is. So here I planned to continue, but I really had to stop because my wheels were not aligned and I had trouble keeping car in the straight line. Here you'll see once again how unlucky I was in this instance. Be hit twice, and yeah, that's basically, my race wasn't going great before this, but this is basically where it all ended.
Time 1:53.68.
And so that's pit stop done. Car is now fixed. We are getting lapped now, and I thought about quitting this race since it was still almost 10 minutes till the end, but I remembered that the more laps I do, less hit on my safety rating those few contacts would have. So I decided to finish this race, however badly placed, and that was a good decision because in the end I actually got some improvement on my safety rating, and I even though I expected to get better improvement with starting from the pit lane. In the end, after what happened in this race, I was happy that I get any improvement to my safety rating. So from now on until the end, my race is basically just letting faster cars pass and trying to finish. I made some mistakes still, and yeah, this race wasn't the best of mine performances, but at least I didn't finish last and I got some safety rating out of it. So yeah, I'll leave you now to watch the final 4 laps, I think, without me talking over them, and then I'll meet you at the end of the race. And here we are now, final half of the lap. As I said, race really didn't go my way, but still, every experience is something we can learn from, and this time I learned that you have to sometimes let the bullies win if you don't want to have your day ruined. So yeah, if I let that guy who dive bombed us in the first corner of last sector, if I let him pass, maybe nothing of this happens. So yeah, anyways, that's it from me for today. Please like and subscribe, and bye for now.